and welcome to the Bel-E Scratch podcast. I'm your host, Bel-E.
And I'm your co-host, Scratch.
And today, I thought about picking up the Norse pagan story from last time. You want to do that, or you want to start over with something else?
No, that's cool.
Okay.
I don't care what you start with.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of blanked out right now because I just woke up from a really long nap.
Yeah, that's what Sundays are for.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a little mentally dull.
Why didn't you get some of the tea in the?
I remember you telling me about it, but I just missed
You want one?
No.
Okay. And stop complaining.
I'm not complaining. Just describing the situation. Norse pagan.
Yeah. No, let's not start with that because I'm still kind of like, Yeah, because honestly and truly, it was a very complex subject, and for people coming in last time,
right.
It was just some.
All right.
Basically, I divulged how I feel about God and everything. How I said I don't believe it is how it is taught, at least in this country or most others. But I don't really have an understanding of what it is right this second. And he just kind of brushed it off as this is like light theism or like soft theism. And I'm like, dude, really?
Because he believed in some type of personification
of this,
of a very not just masculine, but like a hammer throwing kind of
which hey, there's nothing. I don't have any problem with that.
Not per se, no.
Yeah, I know, but honestly and truly,
to say that you're light,
to say I'm light,
you might believe in a larger picture.
Yeah, but to say how I believe is soft theism, and that may be what it's called. I have
never heard that term.
Yeah, of course you never fucking heard that term, which means it's new.
Well, I
don't mean that as a bad thing.
No.
This is not established, therefore it needs some time in the oven.
I mean, what the fuck is that?
It's like soft belief
I have been involved in this arena my entire life. My entire life.
Oh, I know that.
I have never heard the term
soft theism. Yeah, the fact that
I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
No.
I'm just saying I'm a pretty good source.
Sure.
I'm not end all be all.
No.
But
even you admit that. I don't know. It was just how he was describing it. It's like, wait, so the belief that I hold that he's kind of like it's like like I said, it wasn't an insult, but it was definitely like a like you're trying to talk to a child kind of way. It's like, little Timmy, these are big people ideas, and you're still working on your childlike ideas, and that's okay.
The Bible calls it milk. Like young believers, early believers,
I thought it was like
intro believers. It's like it's just like life. When you're a baby, you drink milk.
Yeah.
When you're an adult, you have solid food.
Yeah.
So
that's basically how he was describing what I was coming at. Granted, it wasn't as full-formed as I describe it today. This was definitely 10 plus months ago, almost a year ago.
And somehow this person who would judge you as being involved in soft theism.
Yes, I adhere to some kind of source that created everything, this untangible, I guess you could technically describe it as Lovecraftian if you wanted to get that deep into it.
I think we're learning day by day.
Or not Lovecraftian, Eldritch. Just really, really fucking old.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Because it's the beginning. It's whatever made the beginning the beginning.
Right, yes.
But anyway.
It's like, people talk about the Big Bang, where there was something pulled the trigger.
Correct. That's kind of that's basically, that's a good summary of how I feel about it.
Prior to the Big Bang, there was a singularity.
There was some kind of singularity,
and then,
something, the Big Bang created the universe, but something pulled the trigger.
It was just a progression of
wasn't purely just a progression of collecting mass.
It's like a river.
energy.
It's like a river flows to
Mm-hmm.
a river flows to smooth a rock,
Mm-hmm.
and if that rock stays in that river long enough, then it won't cease to exist. But that rock will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller.
But it's still part of the river.
Correct.
So honestly and truly, what I'm about to say, I'm not trying to do any sort of character defamation on this guy, but I can't help. But this kind of added to me going, really, dude, throughout the night. Here's the thing: if he said in a way that was more matter of fact, like this type of understanding is called this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's called this.
Yeah, teach me something.
Yeah, teach me
something.
Don't
just dismiss what I say.
Yeah, don't dismiss what I say as childish.
Yeah.
That's what irritated me. And the two things that happened that night that made me go, really, dude, you're going to dismiss me as like, this is some childish bullshit that I'm fucking with?
Just because you don't want to deal with it.
Just because you don't want to deal with it is, number one, if I describe my system of belief as, like I said, the thing that... You know, if you believe in an oversoul, if you believe in some kind of force that drives the universe, that.
Yeah.
Something that's infinite, intangible. You can't really put a name to it because it's infinite. That's kind of the point.
That is, yes.
Versus a collection of humanoid people, each with their own statuses and spheres of influence, of a religion that went super duper underground unless it just stopped being practiced at all up until the Marvel movies. You see what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I'm not saying there was no Norse pagans before Marvel made the movies, but they definitely increased in popularity.
Well, there's an element that exists. It's a human dynamic where it's just like calling someone a name.
Sure.
You think you're being bright and categorizing people a certain way.
Sure.
To dismiss their perspective.
Yes.
But you don't offer anything that if you think I'm unenlightened, then enlighten me.
Correct.
If you think I am uneducated, then educate me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my point.
Yeah. This was just a pure
dismissal.
Yeah, this was just a pure dismissal without teaching.
Without teaching, exactly.
Like if he,
which tells me exactly where they are.
Correct.
Which is nowhere.
Nowhere.
To me.
Hell, the Baphomet worshiper was more of a teacher than he was.
Right.
You know, if he said this is what it's called and said like, okay, read this book, listen to this guy or this girl.
Exactly.
Like the sources.
Exactly.
Cite your sources, basically.
And I'm not challenging you.
No.
I'm just saying.
Tell me where to go look.
There's
nothing wrong with that. I don't get irritated at that.
No.
So, and the second thing, this happened like way earlier in the night.
Yeah.
That made me go like, oh, you're just some kind of ass clown, aren't you? Was he okay, all right, look, I'm gonna say something. And I don't know what I'm just gonna tell you this. I don't know what a lot of the myths involving Norse paganism is. I don't know of like any like cultural beliefs that the Nordic Viking people held.
Right.
Because that's not my culture.
Sure.
I'm just not descended from Vikings. And personally, it's kind of oversaturated about the Vikings, so I don't really have an inclination to learn more, just because Marvel kind of plateaued. They kind of torpedoed that damn ship.
It's a very pop culture-y kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And so what happened was this was definitely the first red flag I noticed. And I don't know why it caught me off guard, and I don't know why it still stuck with me, but all four of us, if people listening to this, you need to listen to 95, the end of 95 to understand what I'm about to talk about. But when we went to the ramen restaurant that night to have dinner and converse, it was like 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
We went till about like midnight just talking about, spirituality and stuff.
Right.
And the Norse pagan had to have a certain bowl of ramen that was not made with like any aquatic animals or fish because he was allergic to it. A Norse pagan allergic to fish.
Ooh.
Which I don't know.
Allergic to fish?
Yeah.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. Number one, that's an allergy I've never fucking heard of. And number two...
I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah. But you've been an ER nurse for 20 plus years.
For 2 decades.
What was the weirdest allergy you ever encountered?
God, peanut allergies.
Why?
Because
now, granted, this is out west, and they don't like. Apparently, those parents out there don't like their children enough to feed them things. So.
Oh, that's a whole nother discussion.
Oh, I know that, but anyway, peanut allergy.
Not in my house. No, peanut allergies and eating quote unquote Chinese food that's cooked in peanut oil in a wok.
Oh yeah.
Man,
it lights people up.
Oh, it's one of there's a couple of things. If you ever see someone hanged, it's a sight you'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever see someone someone hanged or someone who has hung themselves, hanged themselves, whatever the correct
wording.
The correct wording is.
I think it is hanged, which is weird, but anyway.
Yeah, but anyway. And angioedema, which certain medications will cause an edema around the mouth and the lips.
Mm-hmm.
But the other Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever that people get from a tick. I've dealt with Agent Orange. That was very Agent Orange, Gulf syndrome, very unique characteristics. But people who have a peanut allergy and eat food that has been cooked with peanut oil.
Specifically peanut oil?
Specifically peanut oil.
Okay.
And usually peanut oil has a very high, flame
burning point.
Burning point or something like that. In other words, you can use very high, very fast.
Yeah, it's for high temperature cooking.
High temperature cooking, exactly. Yeah. So in these restaurants that use these woks, these cast iron woks, they'll use peanut oil.
Yeah, because that's just what they do.
Because that's just what they do.
That's fine.
And then have somebody. The term I used was bloated purple toad. They look like a bloated purple toad. Their entire body was bloated, especially from the neck up. They were more purple than that headband that you're wearing right now, and screaming for air. Yeah. It is just one of the most, and I saw enough of them that
you made your own nickname for it.
Exactly.
For the specific, it's not just peanut allergy.
It's like, you got a peanut allergy, and I know immediately when you have a peanut allergy and you have eaten Chinese food. This is cooked in peanut oil.
Your purple toad syndrome is not just peanut allergy. You have a peanut allergy and you just ate Chinese food cooked in peanut oil. Specifically the Chinese food and the peanut oil part.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's something that after you see it a time or two, you'll never forget it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's horrific.
Yeah.
It's cartoonish.
It's cartoonishly horrific. No, I believe
and it's easy to treat as long as they get there fast enough.
Correct.
We get
or you have one of those, $700,000 EpiPens at your disposal.
That's the minimum you'll need.
Oh, I know.
But that's a good start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That probably kept a lot of people alive until they came to us and we did.
Oh, yeah. No, that's kind of what the EpiPen is for.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But anyway.
So, like I said, I don't know what the cultural or I don't even know what the dietary customs of the ancient Vikings were.
I know it wasn't fruits and vegetables.
No, it was not fruits and vegetables. Unless they took the fruits and vegetables from the people they conquered.
They were not an agricultural
Not really.
race.
Not really.
That's...
There might have been like a couple villages up there that figured something out.
What grows in the snow?
Yeah, but what grows in the snow? Like roots,
I guess.
Shit,
but they had to live off the animals on the land.
Yeah, or fish.
Fish.
Yeah, no, there is like an old, I do not remember what it is called, but basically there was a there is, I don't know if it's still around.
I mean, half of your culture is boats, so obviously you know how to fish.
Yes, that's kind of what the connection was in my head. And there's a dish that I know they have where there is a species of shark that just lived native up there, but they can't just eat it, like straight. They have to like bury it underground for a couple of days or a couple weeks. Like it has to ferment in order for it to be edible.
It has to ferment.
Basically, but they figured that out. But that's still a shark.
Yeah.
It's in the water. You see what I mean?
Still fish.
Like I said, I'm not trying to say this as like a character assassination or to discredit how he believes. I just found the disconnect between...
What do you mean you were born in Georgia and don't eat biscuits? What's up with that?
Yeah, exactly. Or born in Georgia, you don't eat peaches.
Or you don't eat peanuts.
Yeah, or peanuts.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just couldn't get over the fact that this dude wearing Mjolnir adheres to...
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like the actual Mjolnir, not like the Marvel hammer Mjolnir, but it's still Mjolnir. Adheres to Odin, Thor, of course.
And Mjolnir is to some a version of the cross.
Exactly.
Which is really interesting.
Which is also interesting.
I
guess it just depends on where you're at. That's
too funny.
And he's allergic to fish, and he's basically telling me my belief is stupid because I don't worship a person that looks like a person.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I understand that.
It's like, dude, I'm not coming here to attack you or anything. I didn't come out here to be attacked.
People that brew their own tea, the people when you can't draw their guy.
Yeah.
You better not
draw their guy.
You better not draw their guy.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Don't do it.
And I respect that.
But I understand that.
Yeah, I feel...
people of the T-posing religion, they get a little carried away.
Yeah, that's kind of why I get irritated with people. That's kind of why I get...
picture on the wall.
Yeah, that's why I get...
some type of iconic sculpture
exactly.
thing. It's like...
Yeah, this is why I get irritated at people who, once again, the main reason I don't go to church around this area is not because I hate the church per se. It's because I don't hate, I don't go to church because I hate the gospel. No, it's not that. No. I don't worship Jesus Christ, and that's what it always, honestly and truly, it comes down to, at least in the North American evangelical church. Yes, they do talk about God, they do him and haw, some more than others, obviously, the Old Testament, the Old Covenant, but they're really, really talking about the New Testament, New Covenant, Jesus, Saint Paul writing stuff. Like, it all comes back to, we worship the God that became the man, so he's a man, he's of mortal flesh, a person, rather than the thing that brought him here.
The image.
The image.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is...
Oh, no, if I wanted to get granular,
idol worship.
Yeah, if I wanted to get granular and I pissed somebody off, I would say that everything from the crosses to the pictures to the... Hell, even when I went to the Sistine Chapel, and it was beautiful, the architecture was nice, the Michelangelo sculpture was awesome, I'm glad I saw that. But if I wanted to get granular, I'd say that technically constitutes as idolatry because
There are people, yes.
Yeah.
That
you're taking
preach
something.
that, teach that, believe that, yes.
Yeah, you're taking something external. Yes. Yes. It is something that's.
Well, I mean, I understand.
But you're worshiping something outside of yourself.
I understand. It's like the golden calf story. I understand these basically a group of people that had got caught up in a system of worship and needed.
They needed something.
They needed a symbol. They needed a thing to look at, and that's. Far be it for me to say that it doesn't have its place. However,
some people need that.
Some people need that
in certain stages.
It can dominate and corrupt people.
Yeah,
it really can.
Yeah, it can.
That's why I can sell you a Jesus T-shirt for $50.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
It's just not my thing.
Yeah, and that's also where I'm coming from. Is people you can very easily turn it into.
And people have. That's the problem, where it's been exploited and used as a marketing campaign, and
Okay, I'm about to say something. You just pulled some kind of memory from my childhood out of that church we went to out west.
Yeah.
All right.
Which was a good church.
Oh, that was a good church. That was legit. I'll be legit. In the middle of a war zone, there was an oasis. Yeah, even as a child, I knew how good that church was. Right. I didn't know how good. I just knew it was. And, obviously in the child section of the church, they would, play cartoons every now and again. They, they didn't do it often, but every now and again, everyone would sit down and watch stuff like Davy and Goliath. Like, that wasn't often, but it did happen. And I could not tell you what this cartoon was if you held a gun on me, but I remember this one specific part of this cartoon. Obviously, I think it was hand-drawn, but very crudely. Like, the backgrounds were very Hanna-Barbera, very reused. But it was almost drawn like those 90s Caillou cartoons. People who know who Caillou is know what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you're talking about.
All the people were, animalistic, they're dogs, cats, turtles, stuff like that.
Yeah. And
I couldn't tell you what the main plot of what we watched was, but I remember very distinctly there was like a little plot B of this little religious cartoon.
Yeah.
Where there was plot A, which was obviously something to do with kids, because it usually revolved around kids in this media.
Right.
And then there was plot B, which revolved around the town's preacher and his wife, who they just get into their own shenanigans. They're also, it's like, they're adults, and they're also rediscovering their pathway to Christ and God,
Right.
And the plot B, I remembered more because it was, the setup for this particular episode was they were having some kind of telethon fundraiser on TV, kind of like one of those home shopping network type telethon stuff.
Right.
Those old ones.
Those old school ones, yeah.
Those old school ones, and
muscular dystrophy.
Oh yeah, basically stuff like that. And what the plot was, it was something weird. I think that's why I remembered it, because it was so not out of bounds, but it was so different from what was happening in plot A that I remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
It was something, and to some it was out of bounds because it's out of bounds. And the plot B for this telethon church fundraiser, these two personified cartoons were doing was, if you donate X number of money to the church, we'll have a wing named after you. We'll have put your name up on the wall, and if you donate this much past the first threshold, you get these crystalline busts of the preacher, his wife, and the preacher's head.
Really?
Yeah, and every time
is there another layer to this?
Yes.
Because
that's
odd.
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'm getting to it. Hang on. Hold your horses.
No, I'm just saying.
Be stable. Yeah, that's what hold your horses mean. I'm telling you to be stable. So, but every time this one section popped up like every now and again, and I think it was clearly some kind of hit on the oh my god, I remember you told me that there was like this what was it, this I know this is actually, let's talk about this after, because this is going to be so far off track. This little plot B would pop up every now and again, like, you know, maybe one of the child characters turn on the TV. Oh, there's the preacher and his wife raising money. And every time they talked, they try to sweeten the pot, but no one would call in to donate money for these busts of the preacher's head and the wife's head. And then they try to sweeten the deal again and saying, like, you get 3 of them. You know, put them in the rooms in your house. You pray with them in your room. And that's how I was starting to remember it.
Right.
And at the very end of the episode, they wrap up plot B, and they're just scratching their heads going, why does no one want to give to the church? And then one of the child callers calls in,
right.
The first one they had since the beginning of the episode. And one of the not even the main character, one of the slightly less main characters of the cartoon.
Yeah.
She calls this phone line and says, "Isn't these busts technically idolatry?" And then hangs up.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then the preacher and the preacher's wife look at each other and realize, oh, you're right. And then they smash all the heads, and then they sing the big song of the cartoon, which, you know, just some hymn, praise, you know, some kind of song about not having idols or whatnot. And
what a wonderful thing that you were introduced to.
Yeah, and I'm looking around going, what the fuck just happened? Like, I'm 11, and I'm looking at this going, what? What did I just watch?
There is, being from that area.
Yes.
Which was a stone's throw from downtown San Francisco.
Yeah.
Which was where the original church of Jim Jones started.
Really?
People's Temple. Yes.
San
Francisco. This was a church. We went to a church over in Oakland.
Yep.
And they obviously, you cannot, that's why you have to be careful, people. You have to be careful, believers, and believers understand who I'm talking to. When the leader of your church, group, whatever, you have to be careful.
Yes.
They may not. Sometimes it's a very interesting dynamic. They may not start. They start.
If they start engaging in that Messiah complex.
In that Messiah complex.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to be very careful.
That's kind of why I keep a very close eye on the movements of. Can I say his name and not get any backlash in the future? Fuck it.
Say it.
This is why I tend to keep a close eye on the movements of, like, say, Joel Osteen. Because, not for, like, nothing malicious. I don't wish him any ill will. If his doctrine works.
Everything from.
But he's still the pastor of a huge mega church. Just like.
And it's not.
Swagger.
It's just not.
I'm curious if he's going to turn into the next Swagger.
Well.
Like I said, I do not wish him ill will. I do not wish him to follow that path. But I'm like, I'm looking. I'm just looking. I'm just like
everything from Joel Osteen to Elon Musk.
Yes. But here's the difference. Elon Musk is not necessarily professing a spirituality, but Joel is.
Yeah, but there are people
And he's
that
got
place him on that pedestal.
Well, that's what people do.
That's what people do.
I can't control what people do.
Look at what's happening on Instagram.
Oh, I know that.
There are people out there, and I can name them on one hand.
Yes, I know.
That are billionaires.
And they're influencers.
And they don't do anything except constantly get plastic surgery so they can have tiny waist and a big ass. Period.
Indeed.
And they're billionaires.
Oh, I know that.
Billionaires.
I get that.
And people unapologetically follow them, buy what they recommend.
Hey, I know, I get it.
What if they said, hey, you should go. It's just like this whole thing where this trial that took place over the last couple of years about this individual that told their loved one that they should kill themselves. You understand what kind of control these people have?
The spoken word is a big deal.
The spoken word is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
especially when you place yourself. What I would say to people, don't empower yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that you, as the individual, are powerful.
Yes.
Okay. Don't in any way, shape, or form allow yourself to be ruled to that extent.
Correct.
By another individual, by a group that would cause you to take your own life, which is the death of an innocent.
Yes.
Or cause the death of another person, which is an innocent.
Yes.
Don't get caught up in that because that's darkness. I don't care. I don't care what side of the political fence you're from. I don't care what side of the whatever wedding tackle you were born with, whatever it is, when you become so militant that you are willing to harm and maim and
people who are not even involved,
innocent blood, just because they may disagree or you are just under that influence, please get away from it.
Yeah,
just get away from it.
Exactly.
These influencers, like I said, I mean, they're billionaires.
No, I know.
Billionaires.
And if tomorrow any one of them said, "Oh, hey, do this," someone's going to do it.
Think of the millions of people that would do it.
Exactly.
And that's, to me, is sad. That's religion in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
religion
you can talk about God and Jesus and Yahweh and Jehovah and the guy Yeshua, and you can't draw their guy.
Yeah.
And even Musk. Okay, because he's up there and he's that global icon status.
Oh, yeah.
It said, okay, you people need to do this. There's some people that would do it.
Oh, yeah.
And
no, religion doesn't always mean...
No, it's not.
Yeah, religion doesn't always have to include a spiritual, intangible God or goddess.
Where do you think these gods came from? Roman gods, Greek gods.
Norse gods.
Norse gods that were powerful people from our past.
Who just turned into myth and legend.
That's
and those myths and legends turned into creation stories. Parables for their people. Yeah, that's usually how these things get around. I'm not saying, and again, I could have said that to the Norse pagan dude. I could have said the people you're worshiping were originally human. They were kings, princes, and rulers of these Nordic people.
They were the rich people and everybody else was poor.
Yeah.
And they basically...
Or whatever their equivalent of that is.
Well, look, okay.
They died and their family lived on and they kept telling stories of, King Odin, he slayed the mighty ice giants, which more than likely were the Icelanders.
Well,
who are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, people from Iceland are huge. Like, the mountain from Game of Thrones.
There's people that was like, there were giants back in biblical times. Well, there's giants today. Go to Iceland.
Yeah, go to Iceland.
Those people are so big, it's effing scary.
Yeah, if anyone's seen Game of Thrones, and they know the guy that, Bjorsen, the mountain.
The mountain.
The third and final mountain, because apparently they were recasted like 2 or 3 times. He's the shortest of them.
Yeah, he's like, you ever seen him? He's like a couple of his friends.
Yeah, of his friends, and he's the shortest one of them.
He's the smallest guy.
He's the smallest of his friend group.
6'8", 6'10".
Exactly.
It's fucking ridiculous.
And then, but here's the thing. these stories snowball into it's like myths and legends, and then at some point it reaches these people were gods because the point of time had passed that had passed was so great from when these people actually walked the earth, from when they became gods. Like, I'm pretty sure in another 1,000 or so years, people like Musk is going to be considered some kind of religious figure, and people like Bezos are going to be like, what is the opposite of a saint? Not sinner. I mean, like, official, like, archfiend or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like the dark side of
like
it?
Like you're a saint of the dark side. Like Bezos in the future is probably going to be some kind of saint of the dark side in like 1,000 years, like because a demon? Yeah, something like that.
I mean, angels have names, demons have names.
Yeah, so in about 1,000 or so years, people are going to be thinking that there was some kind of religious war that we're engaged in.
Hey, I want to tell you something. I worried that was going to people. I know this is. I was worried that was going to. I mean, and it may still happen to Elvis. There was this. I'm telling you, there is a people. There are people right now. There are people right now that believe that Elvis died. He either died and came back from the dead, or he didn't die,
and he just faked it,
so
he could live a normal life.
Basically, the same thing. And I was like, they're going to turn this into a religion. These people are going to turn it, and they're going to hand it down to their children. Elvis is not really dead, Junior.
Yeah, this is some Bubba Hotep shit.
It's some Bubba Hotep shit.
And I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's got Bruce Campbell as Elvis.
Bruce Campbell.
That's the greatest movie of all time. We need to review that. I need to watch it again. It's been so long. Yeah. But, Bruce Campbell is Elvis. That is the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, I mean,
he is perfect.
Yeah, he's absolutely perfect to play an old
geriatric Elvis. Hey, I respect the hustle.
Hey,
but you understand what I'm getting at, right?
I do, and I mean, my heart goes out to people who are seeking that type of. I don't know, man. It's like trying to. They're seeking some type of stability.
Sure.
But they're grabbing onto things that are just not going to float.
No. That's what
not going to float.
No, I know. That's why I don't get mad at people who they need to have the picture of Jesus. They need to have the big cross.
Right. I used to be down on people.
Because some people just need that.
Some people need that.
For some people, the way they connect with whatever they define as the divine, they need the church. Some people they can do it by talismans. Some people can do it by themselves, like go inward. Some people they need to dance around a bonfire to feel the divine.
Right.
Some people their prayer is prayer. Some people their prayer is spells. Some people their form of meditation is prayer, kneeling in the church. Some people their form of meditation is sitting in their chair and turning their brain off, or at the very least observing their thoughts, therefore trying to turn their brain off.
But this is my attitude, those types of things. It depends on, I'm not saying these people are lazy. What I'm saying is, if you are genuinely, and I seek it every day.
Sure.
It doesn't make me more, it doesn't make me less. But what I have this hunger for knowledge. I have this hunger for a certain kind of understanding. And that hunger is going to drive me is going to be a motivating force for my entire life.
Oh,
I'm going to seek that answer.
Oh, I know.
All of my days.
Yeah.
And there are people that And like I said, I used to have a negative attitude toward people who would get to a certain point and they wouldn't go any further.
Complacency of thought. Yes.
And which is a great concept. You and I really need to spend an entire episode. We can
kind of do it right now. I'm done with my Norse pagan story. I just wanted to I just wanted to loosely shit talk him and say, this non-fish eating motherfucker who believes in Chris Hemsworth and Anthony Hopkins is telling me my religion is stupid. Like I said, I'm not trying to dismiss it, but that's how it came off as. I swear. Like I said, because I have more respect for his wife, the Baphomet worshiper, because she was actually considerate to what I said. How fucked up is that?
Well,
anyway, shit.
There's a lot of people that have been involved in,
But we can talk about complacency. But you go on.
No, I don't want to slam this whole cosplay thing.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Or Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I love Dungeons and Dragons. Don't you fucking shit talking
people have.
Let me have my mass hallucinations. Anyway.
People have gotten in over their heads.
Some
with
have.
This delusional fantasy. And I understand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, reality's tough.
Yeah, reality's tough.
It is tough.
No, I'm willing to admit that.
Yet.
Sure.
Ignoring it will cost you more than... You don't have to embrace it fully.
No.
But you can't dispute its existence.
No.
You can't dispute the... That's like saying, I don't want to drive on the right side of the road and stop at stop signs. Well, you can believe that if you want to. But sooner or later...
It's going to catch up
It's going to catch up with you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it's going to cause pain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I get
discomfort.
you.
And
no, I understand.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
But like I said, we can talk about the complacency of thought.
Sure.
Hell, we might even... it's not a fully formed thesis of mine. Hell, it's not even... it's not really a fully formed thesis.
Well, that's how that type of stuff starts.
Sure. Basically, how I define this complacency of thought is... Like you said, you reach a certain level in... It doesn't have to be religious. It can be... Like, hypothetically... hypothetically, you study engineering. Just whoever studies engineering.
Right.
And they get to a certain point. They're like really good at engineering. They really enjoy it. But they get to, say, like, a bachelor's degree in engineering. Right. And they stop there. Not because that's all they needed, but because they just feel comfortable in their knowledge of engineering, and they don't want to push themselves to get the master's degree or the PhD.
Exactly. Whatever they have gained by achieving that status,
yes,
satisfies what they're after, and they don't
want to pursue it anymore.
Doesn't necessarily mean they want to pursue it any further.
Yeah. Yeah. And for some people, that's just how they operate.
That's how they operate. That's fine.
In some cases, I guess that is needed.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's the status quo.
Yes, the status quo. But don't get pissed off at me when you or me or whomever tries to push past status quo.
Right.
That's where my issue of it comes from.
I'm not saying it makes me better.
No.
I'm just saying that I still have a hunger for knowledge.
Yeah.
And what I do doesn't have anything to do. You know, some people. And
it's not personal.
And some people do it for personal reasons. Some people do it for egotistical reasons. That's fine.
Yes.
That's not why I do it.
No.
I'm just driven to that level. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it too far? Only time
will tell. Yeah, exactly. No, but that's basically my whole thing on the complacency of thought. You just reached whatever the status quo is, but you don't reach past it for whatever reason.
And that's,
but like I said, but where I get an issue is when someone else tries to breach past it. Like take that same dude who's got the bachelor's in engineering. It would be fine if they just kept their bachelor's in engineering and went on to do whatever the hell requires a bachelor's degree in engineering. I'm sure many things.
Sure.
And then several years later, they're pretty set in their ways of this is how engineering, it happens. This is how engineering works. Mm-hmm. And then here comes somebody else. Someone they probably either know or don't know, and they're also studying engineering, and they get their bachelor's in engineering. But then they go, I think You know, is there more to engineering?
Is there more?
Is there more to engineering besides the bachelor level? And then they start asking questions, and that first person with the bachelor engineering gets pissed off that they're trying to work on their master's degree.
Right.
And they try to sabotage him and call them stupid. Like, this is all that there is. There is nothing more. That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Like I said, this doesn't
and
have
that
to...
is just...
this doesn't have to be religious.
No, it doesn't. No,
this can be, like I said, it can be anything.
It can be anything.
Yeah. Like, you know, if you're in college and your professor is like, why are, it's like, you think you're smarter than me? Apparently. Maybe, and apparently.
and why should anybody define it that way? That's
why
like saying,
is it a negative?
You think you're better than me because you can outrun me in a race.
Yeah. Technically speaking.
Well, according to the stopwatch over here.
Yeah.
I didn't create how it's measured.
No.
I didn't create the parameters of how this sort of thing is measured. Sorry. I told my hand to hit things.
We just need to have we just need a microphone just hanging from the ceiling right in front of us.
We'll get there.
No, we both are getting our own microphones.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of listening to me just shouting from across the room and I can barely hear you. Because you are closer to the mic than I am.
Yes.
Because I talk so loud.
And you're just hammering it.
Yes.
And that's great. And when I was your age, I was the same way.
Sure.
I'm just old and fat now. Anyway.
Back to the gym while I'm still there.
We'll talk about that off broadcast. Thank you very much.
All right.
Although
she's already trying to text me on a Sunday.
I'm very interested in you and this whole yoga thing. But anyway, very, very interested.
Yeah, I'm going to see where it goes because I swear to God, I'm not trying to segue out of this. I'm just like, we'll get to it. Continue. I have a very complex feelings right now.
Right. And in as much as I don't think someone I like your bachelor's degree of engineering versus a master's degree of engineering.
Yeah.
And as much as someone with a bachelor's degree in engineering should not try to restrain someone seeking a master's degree in engineering, then that person with a master's degree in engineering should not have a negative perspective of someone who is okay with a bachelor's.
That's also acceptable.
That's acceptable.
I can respect that too.
That's a tough because
it is tough to straddle that line.
It is tough to straddle that line, but you have
you
have to understand what truth is and who's ready for it. It doesn't make you we go back to I go back to the biblical children, babies and children have milk and adults have solid food.
Yeah.
It's that same element. You have to understand that you have to accept that certain people in their time are ready to get their bachelor's.
Yeah.
And certain people are ready to get their master's.
And some people are ready for their PhD.
PhD.
Yeah.
And we all have,
but then again, some people, they never get there. They don't even get that far. Not even towards...
No, they don't get that far. There are different reasons that motivate them.
That might be why reincarnation is such a big deal to a great deal of folk. Because there is so much to learn that some people may have decided you can't learn it all in one lifetime. Like, you can't get the quote-unquote bachelor's degree of engineering in one lifetime.
There are people
that might be why.
That might be no. That's the whole thing,
or part of it at least.
And people don't understand. These it's like these Eastern religions that preach reincarnation.
The karmic wheel.
The karmic wheel. They have an endpoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
They eventually stop.
You actually, I think the maximum is 7 times.
Something like that.
It's not like it goes on and on.
No.
And
That would be purgatory.
And where
no, that's why there's
North
this
American religions basically say it's almost at a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get to where you need to be, you get to heaven, whatever you believe, in one shot.
Yes.
Where Eastern religions, there's like
as many times as it takes.
As many times as it takes, up to 7 times.
Up to 7 times.
They don't talk about that.
No.
Because most people they don't take the time to truly understand what it is.
Sure.
You know, we're bad about that in North America.
Sure.
Where we get enamored with these different perspectives. I think we understand things. We don't really study them.
Oh, that's why I choose to study them.
It's
like I said earlier this morning, I'm not trying to become a pagan or Hindu or any other religion. I just want to read other people's parables and see if I can apply that to my life.
And when you do that, you do begin to see these interwoven.
I've seen. I have made
now
some.
You can't really talk to people.
No, I can't.
You can't really talk to people who have the bachelor's degree.
No.
About how the master's degree may interweave different perspectives. Oh, they'll eat you up.
Exactly.
Because they're like, this is it.
No. But here's the thing. That's kind of why it's hard to straw that line for me is because, again, you and I personally have established that I'm technically on the same discovery path as you. I'm just less angry about it.
A lot less angry.
But even still, as much as I do know I don't need to poke fingers and laugh at people just because they choose to maintain the bachelor's degree of engineering of whatever the fuck they're engaged in.
Yes.
But at the same time, if I start talking about it, or if I display anything outside of the status quo, then they get pissed off at me, and I'm like, I'm not attacking you.
You see how it doesn't have anything to do
with you,
with the son of Joseph and Mary.
No,
okay,
this has nothing to do with Yeshua.
Somebody who's got Milnor around their neck, and you poked a hole in that, and they're like, "Fuck you." You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
This is just a human dynamic.
It
doesn't have to do with God, Jesus, Yeshua, whatever.
It'd be college football.
Yes. Which is big in this area.
Oh. Poke a hole in the team down the road and see what happens.
No, I know better.
I used to win money from people who were their fans that I knew they were going to lose. But because they worshiped that team so strongly, they were like, "Yeah, I'll bet you $20." I'm like, "Okay, dude. All right."
Hey, that's called gas money right there.
It was gas money.
Hey, that's fair.
And and I kind of took it. I just there's this zealot element of people.
Oh, I know.
That I did take advantage of, and God forgive me. But
oh no, they put themselves in that position.
No, they did, but I kind of kind of baited them into it.
Then you're both at fault.
Yeah.
No,
but I'm the one that had the material. The material reward.
Sure. No, if they put themselves in that situation, that's their fault. But but anyway, no, I understand what you mean. But yeah, I'm just. Yeah. I'm not trying to be an asshole, not necessarily. I'm just like, guys.
I just want to understand it.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this, but I'll kind of give you an example, not necessarily, not exactly a good example, but definitely one where, there was a day a couple months ago this year, May 24th of 2022, is when I finally understood the Elliott wave.
Oh, yeah.
Like from a visual standpoint. You just connect.
You had a wrinkle in your brain for him?
Oh, yeah, I felt it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
And all right, I'm not going to get into any, like, terminology, like, I felt whatever I guess actually, I do want to talk about this, because obviously being someone who spent a good number of their formative years out west,
yeah,
I do have a, as someone who spent some formative years out west and who also likes yoga, mostly the vinyasa, but we'll get to that. So I have studied the chakra system, like the basic, the 7.
You've read about it.
Yeah, I've read about it. I've looked
Sure.
it up. I know what everything represents. It's basically just a very old version of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yeah, that's what it is. It's an ancient way of explaining Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Okay.
That's literally what the chakra system is.
That's fair.
As far as a spiritual part, that's up to, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to attach that to it, that's
your business.
That's your business.
Yeah, that's your business, and that's how you believe. No, yeah, exactly.
Sure.
But I have looked at it,
Sure.
and that's basically what what the chakra system is. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Just really, really fucking old.
Right.
That was how they first. That was how they interpreted it.
That's how they interpreted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sense?
It does to me.
Okay, so sometimes I will read these, not so much esoteric, but definitely outside of the evangelical church.
Right.
And I go, hey, that's interesting. And I make these like you said, these, you explain how the master's degree in engineering explains how these things are interwoven like that.
Right.
But I cannot, I swear to God, the universe, the source, whatever people want to call it. The secret, whatever. Whatever you want to call it. I swear, I am not making this up. The day I figured out Elliott wave, I just realized there are only 2 waves, and that's it. That's it. There's impulse, and there's corrective, and they swap. They just, one goes, and then the other. Like, left foot, then your right foot, then your left again, then your right again. Every single time.
You're ready for the black notebook.
Good.
Cool.
So, when I figured that out, it was in this room.
Right.
This specific room, that spot right there.
Yeah.
I had my flashcards because I thought, I need to draw this out. I need to see it in front of my eyes because I'm just visual. Everyone's got their learning style.
Everybody's got their learning style.
And when I basically just put the impulse graph right next to the corrective graph, and then I just took out the impulse card and put it right next to the corrective card on the other side. And I just kept doing that, and I realized that's what it is.
That's what it is.
I swear to God, the spot where we are supposed to have our sacral chakra unlocked. That is not a joke. The spot right here.
Is that sacral or is that...
No, sacral's down here.
Sacral's down there.
Solar plexus is like, for me, it's under...
Solar plexus is a big deal.
No, I know it's a big fucking deal. For me, it's under... It's literally your solar plexus, that bundle of nerves right there, which is literally a bundle of nerves in anatomy. You know that.
It is.
I swear to God, that thing, I physically felt that chakra open.
The gate open.
That gate, I physically felt it open, and I felt something shoot through my spine from base to top.
Right.
I felt something.
Right.
And for like the next 2 days, I was on cloud 9.
You were buzzed up.
I was invincible. For 2 days, 2.5 days, I think I had spontaneously just became enlightened because I realized I don't have to fight anymore.
No, you don't.
This whole thing with the market being down, it doesn't matter. If the market's going up, it doesn't matter. If it's going down, it doesn't matter because I know how to get through it. It's only when it's going sideways, but no one likes it when it goes sideways. So that's not unique to me. Not even the big players like it when it goes sideways, okay?
No.
Because they can't do anything. You can make speculation, but ultimately you can't get anywhere because it's just overlapping over itself.
Right.
So here's the thing. I'm not saying I per se believe in that whole chakra system, but there has to be something to it because I swear I physically felt it open. You know, there's like feeling it during meditation. I think I somehow spontaneously became enlightened because I realized I had knowledge that basically said, I don't have to fight anymore. I don't have to struggle for money. I don't have to struggle for prestige or I don't have to struggle in like relationships. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because I've tapped into this money is infinite. It's like air.
It's like energy.
It's like energy. I've tapped into this infinite stream.
It just transitions.
It just transitions
into something else.
Yeah, you and I had tapped into this infinite, basically this infinite source of wealth.
Right.
You know, we just got to time it right. But that's literally it. That's
literally
the only thing stopping us.
You have to get here.
But yeah, I had to get here.
You have to get here.
I have to get here.
Before you can get there.
Before I could get there.
Right.
That's also another reason why I do actually like the chakra system, because even if you don't take a spiritual application to it, you still have the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. Food, survival, and then companionship, and then, you know, personal power, and then so on and so forth. Right. These are just it can also be read as a checklist of you need this before you go over here. You need this before you go to the next step.
It's like building a house.
Yeah, it's like building a house. You need to have a foundation.
You dig a hole,
yeah,
and you put the pipe, and then you lay the cement for the foundation, and then you put up the scaffolding, the wall.
It's also why you don't build your foundation on sand. And I finally figured out why. I mean, yes, you don't build houses on sand because you literally have an unstable foundation because sand shifts and it moves. Right. That's the physical application of it.
Right.
The spiritual application of it is, if your foundation of what you understand is not stable, it'll collapse on top of you. Which is
there's a whole bunch of that going on.
That's why I don't like the American evangelical church, is because for numerous people, be their own fault or not, their foundations are built on sand, whether they realize it or not.
It's a problem that's grown outside of the evangelical church.
Exactly.
There's a whole lot of ideology that's been tossed around today that is outside the natural order, natural laws of the universe.
The universe.
Of the universe. Okay, I'm not talking about mores and you gotta, and calling people phobes and all this other stuff like that. No, you don't understand.
No, that doesn't matter.
Building your belief system, and it doesn't have anything to do with God, doesn't have anything to do with the Bible, doesn't have anything to do with Jesus. Okay, you're building your belief system, your application to life on principles that are built on sand. Yes. It is going to shift, and it will fall. It's not a matter of me saying, people can demonize my perspective about I don't support this type of ideology. I don't have to.
No.
It's going to fail. It doesn't have anything to do with me.
Sure.
My attitude toward it, my acceptance of it,
my indifference to it.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You built your belief system, your application to life on principles that are built on sand. It's going to fall. It just is.
Know. No, it's fine.
It's just a matter of I had to get to that point because there was, when I was your age, probably within the 10 years from where you are now, I was angry at these people I can't believe, blah, 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 blah. Because even though I had shunned my evangelical upbringing.
Sure, which, you know.
There were still big problems in the world.
Yes.
That I saw and I was angry about.
Yeah. Oh,
But then
I'm kind of sort of there too.
When I got older and had mulled this stuff over in my mind every freaking day, year after year after year after year after year, decade after decade, I began to realize that it doesn't have anything to do with my attitude toward it or my
This
embracing
just-
of it.
This just happens.
It will not stand. It can't stand.
It can't stand.
It can't.
Yeah.
And there's no sense being upset about it.
No.
It doesn't mean that you have to support it. It doesn't mean you have to tear it down.
No,
It won't stand. It just won't.
This is kind of why I'm pretty casual with the alternative scene around here.
Right.
Because, not just, well, here's the thing. Number one, they don't look at me like I'm fucking insane. Like, like Main Street does.
Right.
You know, I had to go to the city up north where everybody looked at me in order for them to not look at me.
Right.
And I got a kick out of that. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
You know, it's also why I raided the one thrift store they had. That was
like, look, there's a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's like, but the whole city's a bunch of Bigfoots. Yeah. So I appreciated that. You know, if I had the ability, I would make that city my home, but I wouldn't stay there long.
Right.
Because I'm not a city person. I like to go there. I like to chill there for maybe a couple days.
You would realize that the majority of them are like your pagan Norse person.
Exactly.
Where
and
they have created this narrative.
But they don't expand past it. Yeah, and then that would have pissed me off too.
And then they'll
look at me and
they'll get old and realize it was a phase they were involved in. And they'll grow beyond, or they'll crash under the weight of it.
Yeah, but that just happens.
So that's just the way
grow or die.
Grow or die.
That's literally, That's it.
So that tree out there, grow or die.
Yeah.
And part of the growing process is when disease affects a limb. To be pruned means to grow more.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with pruning your tree.
Nothing wrong with that.
By the way, I made a connection, and this may be a little too advanced.
Screw it.
No, I know that. I'm just priming this. I'm priming this.
Uh-huh.
All right, now, I'm about to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Now mind you, I have not studied, I have not actively studied, that's kind of next. I have not actively studied things like the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, described in that school of thought.
Yes.
But you and I have found, oh God, you got that look. Okay.
I'm going to
finish my thought, but you got that look.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I know people listening to this can't see, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
So, basically the 3-sentence phrase that I use as I forget what they're called, but there's these specific, there's like these specific phrases that, I think that's usually used in like Buddhist meditations, like if a tree falls in the forest but no one's around, does it make a sound? Basically, these things to make your mind think about the question,
right?
In order to kind of make your mind wrestle with it as a way of focusing on that question and not thinking about everything else. It's a form of meditation, basically.
Yes.
Sound of one-handed clapping, which is a thank you, Bart Simpson. For me personally, that little that little phrase that I need to, in order for my brain to wrestle with it, so it's not thinking about everything, is I give myself, or I choose to not have control. That's
cool.
That's my thing, because I realize a lot of my issues was like I'm just trying so hard to just trying to make things work, and I'm trying to push it and push it and push it. Yeah. But if you're on the right path, you don't have to force it. You don't have to control everything in order to have your way.
It is patience.
It is patience. Right. So for me, that helps. Yeah. But there's a 3-word sentence that you and I will use. God grows trees.
God grows trees.
The secret of the universe is in those 3 words. Understanding those 3 words. God grows trees.
I can believe that.
Because that's how I kind of figured out.
Works.
That's how it works. Because that's how it works. And if you understand how it works, if you understand the sentence, you understand how it works. If you understand how it works, you understand the sentence.
Right.
So I got to thinking, okay, so part of the sentence is, a tree doesn't just spontaneously go from seed to full grown in a day.
Yes.
That's part of it.
Yes.
So patience is part of it. What I also started to realize, because I kind of gleaned over some, Kabbalah texts, thank you, Internet, and they were talking about the tree of life, and I realized, wait a minute. If the tree of life is technically a person, hypothetically, or representation of a person, again, I've not studied this, so I could be talking out of my ass.
Yeah,
but I cannot help but draw the connection between the understanding of God grows trees and the Kabbalah, and if these are related. I don't know how they're related, because again, I've not studied that. I'm going to.
No, I haven't either.
But I've connected two dots. The secret of how the universe functions is in the sentence, God grows trees, and the Kabbalah talks about the tree of life.
Right.
And I'm wondering how these are interconnected.
They are.
So that's kind of, it's not next, but it's definitely on the pile, so to speak. So I just wanted to get that out there.
People get in a hurry.
Oh, I'm not in a hurry.
It doesn't mean not to operate with. It doesn't mean not to operate without a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
It just means that when you're ready to understand something, you'll understand it.
Correct.
Don't be.
The
worst thing you can do is say, "I wish I'd understood that 10 years ago."
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
When you're ready, you're ready.
When you're ready, you're ready. Okay.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's kind of why yesterday morning I verbalized I realized yesterday morning that it's like, okay, I think I'm ready to start start the journey of essentially becoming a yogi of some sort.
I think that's fair.
That's fair. Definitely the physical aspect of yoga, but I think there's 7 other different forms of yoga. That's not just warrior 1, 2, and 3 and so on, but I'll get there.
The book that I asked you to read, what day did you start reading that?
The Gan book? I definitely started yesterday because I was waiting for the event to start. And of course all the... Okay, yeah, as of this recording, yesterday I went to a rodeo and I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted so bad to enjoy it. And some parts of it I did enjoy. But the problem was
out, fresh air.
Yeah, fresh air.
Sky.
It was beautiful. I liked the rodeo clowns. Everyone was, it was very patriotic, which is something I have not experienced in probably years.
Since you were in school?
Yeah, since I was probably in school. Yeah. Which, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's a breath of fresh air. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Just because it's like...
No politics.
No politics.
Just, hey.
Yeah, everyone's like, hey.
We're glad we're here.
We're glad we're here. We have free speech. We thank God. Yeah, we're thankful. And we're going to put on a rodeo.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be
more. It was such a breath of fresh air. No,
awesome.
They didn't mention any political opponents. Awesome. They were just like, we're the red, white, and blue. And we're going to pray to God. We're going to pray that all these performers are safe, although one this dude definitely did get his leg broken. I do feel bad about that dude. But he didn't die.
Yeah.
You did point that out to me.
He didn't die.
I didn't mean to be glib about the whole thing. I was just hungry and irritated because what happened was it was artificial.
Right.
My presence there.
Right.
I was sent, not asked. I was sent.
Okay.
By my superior at my gym.
Sure. To
go sell training to people stuffing their faces with funnel cakes and fried Oreos. And I didn't want to say anything to her.
Oh.
I did not want to say anything to my boss.
And you had a nice outing.
I did have a nice outing. I got some sun. I liked that. But I still was pissed off because it's like, man, would I have done anything fun this past Saturday night? Probably not, but...
And now you would go back as a spectator.
I would go back as a spectator, but
Right.
I was pissed off because I wasn't there as a spectator initially.
Right.
And honestly, what prevented me from staying longer other than just being hungry and I didn't have any diet-friendly food on me because I will not buy any food. Okay, here's the thing. The lady that runs that rodeo, she owns the it wasn't a stadium. It was more like an organic amphitheater almost.
Corral.
It was definitely a corral, but there was like tiers of the parking. But anyway,
Okay.
She owned the big ass house next to it, and I said to her, "I love your house," and it was a nice house.
Yeah.
No, that was nice.
That's called networking.
That's called networking right there. But I swear, I was like, I am not buying a single thing from this place because I will never hear the end of it from my boss.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, she'll be like, I sent you for training. You're busy eating fried Oreos and barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I would not live that down. So I just chose to be hungry and miserable because I knew that short-term hunger was better than the long-term headache. Because she is kind of that person.
I got you.
And that would have given me the reason that would have given me the reason to go, all right, you know what? Fuck you. Bye. Shit. I just realized that now. But anyway.
It's a good realization.
Next time. No, not next time, because it'll be calculated. Fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, I know it's a drag.
Anyway, so I wanted to enjoy it, but other than just being hungry, I've been in the sun for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like 3-4 hours of the sun, because everyone else brought umbrellas, but I was like, hey, guys. Just my dumbass and tiny table. Really good before and after pictures. No one looked. No one really bothered. They were just like, hey, a hot chick. Oh, no thank you. And as soon as they saw the table.
Right.
The whole night. So I was irritated at that. And then when I sat down, tried to enjoy the rodeo. Now, this was the second of a 2-night... this was the second night of a 2-night rodeo.
Right.
And according to the lady that runs it, who trains under my boss, that's why I didn't want to... Because, yeah, that's kind of why I didn't want to eat anything there. Because immediately my boss would have known.
Sure.
And this second night, this must have been like the C squad of the rodeo. Okay? Because obviously some of the events that I saw before, I was just like, man, fuck this. I'm not sitting here hungry and miserable and watching shitty rodeo. Was initially there was the Bronco Bronco riding.
Right.
They're on horses. They gotta tie one hand on the saddle, the other one not on the saddle.
Bucking Bronco.
A
horse, not a bull.
Oh yeah. No, the bulls came later, I assumed. Yeah, I kind of wish I stayed for the bulls, but at the same time, it's like, no, these people suck, honestly. I respect what they do, and I'm not being glib about the rodeo scene. These people just did not have it in them that night. Because a lot of people were thrown off the Broncos, like, as soon as the gate was open.
I can't even...
a bunch of people had their hands caught and they were dragged, hence the dude that definitely got his leg broken. Unfortunate for that guy.
People that work with animals, as a general rule of thumb, are not overweight because
they're not.
They get out. They got farms.
No. Now, they do have...
They don't sit inside and watch TV
No,
all the
they
time
don't.
like I do.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I respect these people.
Yeah.
And then they had what I stayed for was for 3 events. Two Bronco riding events. The first one was better because they had like one guy outdo the rest of them.
Yeah.
and that was kind of it. Everyone else was either thrown off as soon as the gate opened, or they got drugged, therefore technically a DQ, I guess, or stomped. Oh no, there were 3 separate. Oh no. No, look, there were 3 separate dudes, specifically dudes, because there were cowgirls too.
Or the medical team had to come out.
No, they had to come out for one guy who face planted, but he face planted. They had to come out for the guy who probably got his leg broken because a horse stomped on his leg.
Right.
That happens. But there were 3 separate incidences where someone was thrown off. They were not thrown far from the horse, like just under the horse, right. And it's bucking,
right?
Because that's what it was trained to do.
I think that's natural.
I'm not sure how they do it. Okay, I don't know how they get the horses to do it. I just know they do it. But so the bucking bronco is bucking, and there were 3 separate times when, I swear to God, those 3 cowboys that fell to the earth under that horse,
a pile of dust.
They should have had their skulls caved in by a hoof, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Because it came inches, millimeters from their faces.
Right.
And I wasn't close enough to see how badly it was going to get, but I saw enough. So the first bucking bronco event, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I was just pissed because it was like, look, I get people get thrown from their horses, but you didn't even make 2 seconds out of the gate before you just collapsed off of that damn thing. I tell you, there was one horse in particular in both of these events that was called wrought iron. Every single person who had to ride wrought iron was fucked. That horse understood the assignment.
Did his homework.
Oh my God.
Oh.
No, there was that one horse.
Where everybody goes,
oh shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, wrought iron was that horse. That mean old sumbitch.
Oh, that's funny.
That mean old sumbitch of a horse was the 3 times.
Yeah.
The 3 times someone almost had their face caved in. 2 of them were wrought iron.
Right.
'Cause he was a beast. Oh no, I couldn't help. Oh no, I couldn't help, but it was weird because some of the horses, they were very playful in their bucking. Which,
right.
Here's the thing: I'm not a horse person. I'm literally just going off of how I interpret how animals operate because I have 5 of them now.
You can see a difference in.
But you can see a difference in pattern and behavior.
Yeah, pattern and behavior, absolutely.
So some of the horses were more playful, whatever that means for horses. Equestrian people understand this better than me.
Yeah.
Wrought iron was not playful.
I know. Horses are mean.
Horses are mean.
I've been thrown into a tree. I've been thrown into a barbed wire fence.
Ooh.
Yeah. The last time I got on a horse, I was thrown into a barbed wire fence. I still have a scar on one of my legs. I can't remember which one. It was a long time ago. But, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, wrought iron understood the assignment. He knew what he was showing up for.
He earned his money, earned his grain,
he earned his grain. He earned his corn.
Whatever.
Yeah. No, I think, that, I will tell the lady that runs this rodeo, even though I didn't stay very long, and I might probably make some bullshit excuse so she doesn't get pissed at me. But I will tell the lady that runs that rodeo that trains with my boss, I'll tell her, all right, look, I don't know if you own wrought iron or if it was someone that came in from out of state, out of town to participate in the rodeo. But wrought iron was on X Games mode. There's like easy, medium, hard, and then there's wrought iron.
There's wrought iron.
Yeah.
There's always one.
There's always one. That was the X Games horse. And the second event that I saw, other than the Bronco racing, was something I never saw before. I never even heard of it before. So in the corral, the pseudo stadium corral, because there were just like bleachers and I had a chair.
Sure.
There were two spots in the corral. There was the far side where all the tractors and trailers were, where they were carrying the animals. That's where the gates were for the bucking Broncos, bucking bulls section was.
Sure.
And on the other side, I noticed there was a bunch of small steers, like a bunch of not fully grown cows. Definitely, but they weren't calves. They were like teenage cows.
Okay.
Whatever the name is for that. So some teenage steers, literally some short and longhorn steers.
Right.
They were they were in these pens on the other side of the corral, and I'm going, what are those for? Do you know what they're for?
I have no idea.
Steer wrestling.
Steer.
Which I didn't realize existed, and I want to see more of it. And
They had to get them on the ground and rope 3 of their legs?
No. That's hog tying.
Okay.
No. Okay, let me tell you some... This has to... I don't know where this came from, but this is definitely some Texas shit. It may not have originated from Texas. This sounds like some Texas shit, what I'm about to get ready to tell you.
Sure.
This sounds like something they would deeply be invested in. You get, okay, the announcer described it as, there's the people who do the bucking Broncos, there's the people that do the bucking bulls, there's the people that do the barrel racing,
yep,
so on and so forth. Apparently, according to the announcer, the lineman equivalent of cowboys do steer wrestling. So that's where the big boys do, because apparently what they do is... they're on a horse.
Right.
And then there's the steer.
Right.
And there's some kind of rope as some kind of barrier that prevents them from, going offside, so to speak.
Keeps them in a straight line.
Keeps them in a straight line.
Okay.
Keeps them from jumping onto the steer before they get out of the gate, so to speak. Keep things fair. Sure. I don't fully understand what they meant by the rope or this line, but whatever. So basically, the object of steer wrestling is you're on a horse.
Yeah.
There's a steer right next to you in another gate.
Right.
You both go out at the same time, and we got the person who's got the lead on the cow, just so it's fair and whatnot. So you have to get from your horse onto the steer
without roping them first.
Without roping them, you're using your
jump off the horse.
You have to jump off the horse onto the steer, and you basically have to wrestle it to the ground, get all 4 hooves in the air, so it's got to do a little barrel roll, and that's how you win. The quickest to do that, it wins. I don't know what to tell you.
Off the top turnbuckle.
Oh yeah, no. But here's the problem: they had 4 dudes doing the steer wrestling.
So they got to dismount the horse.
They got to get off the horse, onto the steer before they hit the ground.
Before they hit the ground.
Get around the steer head, wrestle it to the ground.
Horns and all.
Horns and all. Basically, you get the steer to roll over onto its back to get its 4 hooves in the air, and then you let go because you're done. You're done. You don't have to fuck up the steer. This isn't a fight to the death.
Right.
Okay? This isn't
it's a fight to the barbecue.
Yeah, it's... Give me that back.
I have to move now.
Anyway, so... moving's good for you.
Ugh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There were 4 dudes in competition for the steer wrestling. One of them, he tried. He tried to get from his horse to a steer, but kept getting drugged. He
just let it go.
Yeah, he just let it go because he couldn't do anything.
Sure.
The second 2 didn't get off the horse at all. They didn't even try. No, they just they were just oh, bye. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's guys, the 4th guy nailed it. I don't know what the...
Fuck that cow.
Yeah, he's fuck that cow. Look, I don't know what the textbook example of a perfect pin in steer wrestling is, but I know he did it.
Styling and profiling.
Oh my God. It wasn't even fair.
Really?
That guy was like, gates open, they're both fully out of the gate,
right.
which I think is what the lead for fairness meant. They
Sure.
both fully out of the gate.
Right.
Immediately on this steer, has it on the ground, body rolls it, put all 4 hooves in the air, he lets him go, and he stands up, and he waves. It was almost like, like a gymnast, they do this big, complicated routine.
Oh, and they do the dismount?
Then they do the dismount, and they put their arms up, and they're like, ta-da! That's this dude!
That's awesome.
This motherfucker, this corn-fed country motherfucker, he puts a cat, look, it was a teenage cow, it was not a fully grown cow.
Bulldogs it into the dirt.
He bulldogs what has to be minimum 600 pounds of an animal. Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum 600 pounds steer into the dirt, gets it to roll over, and he pops up and he's like, ta-da!
Take my picture.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's it? Oh my God, that was amazing! And it was amazing. Like, when I go to be an actual spectator where it's not tainted,
right,
I will look forward to the steer wrestling.
Sure.
Because first of all, I didn't know that was a thing.
Me either.
But now we know. And that guy, he nailed it.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, holy shit. So
you gotta do something.
And then after that was another round of the bucking Broncos, which nobody qualified, nobody placed, because they all got thrown off the horse 2.5 seconds as soon as the gate opens. And I was disappointed, hungry, and miserable, and decided to cut my losses and go.
God bless him.
Yeah, God bless him. No, seriously.
I'm not getting on.
I'm not getting them either. I ain't doing it either. Nah. I'm impressed by it.
Sure.
Especially that one dude in the steer wrestling who I'm going to get his name and number from the lady that runs that. And I'm just going to hope he lives in this state.
That's fair. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the matriarch and I were interested. We are.
Oh yeah, but you guys found the property.
We were.
No, that took precedent.
Yeah. So next time.
Oh yeah, no, next time. I'm definitely gonna go again. I just want to go as a spectator.
Right.
And yeah.
I've been there.
Oh yeah. You're made to be there.
I work concession stands at football games, and then it's like, you know what? I want to watch the game.
Yeah, I want to watch the game, and I don't want to. I was pissed off because I was made to be there when I didn't want to be there, or like I was forced to go. I was basically forced to go.
Right.
That kind of screws stuff like that up with me, personally. But you know what? If this whole thing with the yoga teacher training pans out, then hopefully it won't be an issue for very, very much longer. Because honestly, because we understand the Elliott wave, it doesn't really matter what career I pick. It really doesn't. And you know what?
It's taking a lot of stress off me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Because we now no longer have to wonder where's the money going to come from.
Yeah, I know where it's going to come from.
Yeah, now we know where it's going to come from. We just have to wait for it.
It's just a matter of timing.
Yeah. That's not a problem. If that is the only problem, you don't really have a problem. You just have to wait for it.
You just have to wait for it.
Yeah.
It's like waiting for, you plant crops.
And you wait for the rain.
And you wait for the rain. You wait for it to grow.
Exactly.
You wait for
There's nothing, same deal.
Same deal.
But, you know what? I've actually been kind of end this. It might, I'm hoping this is in my head. But it might be time for my gym to I don't want to say close, but I think it's time for Sherry to move on, Miss Cheryl.
Mhm.
And I say that because it's literally just me and her.
Right.
Every person she's hired for one reason or another, be it their own reason or life happens to them, they've had to step away almost immediately after being hired.
Right.
A lot of potential trainers at that gym said they want to get hired, and then life happens, and then they can't do it anymore. And I can't, and she tells me all this, because I'm literally the only other employee she has. It's me and her holding down that spot.
Right.
And I can't help but go, your son left. When here's the thing, if her son was single and the market was good and didn't have children, him leaving to start his own training establishment would have made sense.
Right.
You know,
Right.
times are good, you don't have to worry, he doesn't have any responsibilities, of course he can do it.
Sure.
But he's got a child, newly born child, and a wife who's German, and I love her.
Right.
But she's very German.
Right.
And the economy is not good, but he still went out, found a space with, I imagine, conceivably higher rent.
A lot higher.
Yeah, because it was closer inside the city. He still chose all that despite having these responsibilities. New hire, or people are not...
The next 6 months is going to tell.
This next 6 months are going to tell. That's going to make my decision for me. Because...
We did an A wave down.
Yep. We're in a B wave.
We're in a B wave up. And we're getting ready to roll over and go back down into a C wave.
More than likely.
A long C wave.
A long C wave. So, but that's...
Which is eventually going to be a CDE.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're projecting right now.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I can't help but notice the fact that, except for me, she can't keep any hires. Like, everyone has something else to do.
Right.
That takes precedence over a
Well,
very lucrative job with little training.
People are...
That's a good job.
Yeah, people are realizing now
Mm-hmm.
to do that type of work is basically a leap of faith.
Yes.
And
now is not the time for a leap of faith.
Well, I'm not saying it's not the time. I'm just saying that you better be sure that's what you want to get involved with.
Exactly.
Because I can speak from personal experience.
Yeah.
Where I was, I didn't understand the world back then the way I understand it now, and I'm glad I made the decisions that I've made. But I have something that's more concrete.
Yes.
That's more tangible.
Yes, you
per
do.
se.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And it's not something that I pushed on you or bro.
Yeah.
But right now,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the next 12 months,
there's going to be a change.
You better be set up. You better be set up in a situation where you can tolerate that leap of faith.
Correct.
If you have a lot of commitments and debt,
yes,
then that leap of faith is going to be very difficult right now.
Oh, I know.
It's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, but I can't help but notice that everyone's leaving. Like, nobody. She can't get anyone in to also be a trainer.
Right.
And I noticed that. It's like, now granted, yes, her heart is in a good place. She genuinely wants to help people. Here's the problem. She doesn't bend.
No.
She's too rigid. And you pointed that out this morning, because I couldn't figure out what the problem was. It's like, she is a good person. She means well, but it is too much to handle.
Sure.
She's not flexible.
She doesn't know how.
She doesn't know how. Because she is definitely stuck in this 80s style training of let's go, 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 go. But that's not how people operate anymore.
Not really.
Some people
not the
need
majority
that.
Of
Not the majority. Some people need that
some
push.
People do need that.
They need that person standing on their back, shouting at them.
Marine drill sergeant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some people.
God damn it, gump.
Yes. Some people need that.
Yeah, some people do need that.
But
or respond to that.
Or respond to that.
Right.
But that's not how most people operate anymore.
Not really.
Not really, no. That I've had several of my clients go, oh, thank God I got you as my trainer.
Yeah.
Many.
You need to share that with her. And I don't know how you would introduce
Exactly.
it. Yeah, how do you bring that up?
It might be when I leave, because I think
Right.
what I'm seeing is she's at her limit. She's having to hold, except for Fridays and the weekend, she's having to do 14-hour day shifts.
Crazy.
Just to keep her own rent and bills in check, and that place's rent and bills. She can't get any more help beyond me. I'm not getting anywhere. Unless she either gives it to me or life just gives it to me, which is just freebies.
Right.
But I can't help but notice, do I need to still be here? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I've decided as soon as I run out of people, I will have to leave.
Right.
It's not that I'm not seeking people per se, but times are tough. Rich people, yeah, they got money, but they got stuff to do too.
Yeah.
And
well, there's a lot of people that quote unquote has got money.
They got money,
but they're losing it hand.
They're losing it hand over fist.
They're in so much debt.
Yeah. That's the other thing.
Me and the matriarch looted a piece of property
which
earlier.
is beautiful, and I'm so glad she showed me those pictures.
This was a different piece of property. It was almost 500 acres. It was.
How much time do we got?
We got a few.
Okay, go on.
Was almost 500 acres for like $70,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, I said, you,
me, wait,
you,
me,
you,
what?
Bel-E could get a loan for $70,000.
Holy shit, I could.
You could.
I could.
That's what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of people that are beginning. People can figure. This is what's happening, people. You got a choice. You can cut your losses, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's going to happen in the next 12 months. And this is hypothetical. You can sell now and lose $5,000.
Yes.
Or you can sell later and lose $50,000.
That's the difference.
You're going to, and then I had to study trading to understand this.
Yes.
Okay, you're actually coming out on. You think, oh, I'm losing $5,000. You're actually coming out on top to take that loss, because if you don't get out of that position, it's just like I had a position where I was down $250, and I was like, I don't want to lose $250. So I stayed in the position and ended up losing $1,800.
Yeah.
Losing almost $2,000.
Exactly.
Where if I'd have just eaten that $200, $250 loss.
That's what a stop loss is for.
That's exactly what a stop loss is for.
But anyway.
So that's what's happening to people right now. People are so leveraged in debt
that they can't afford to do the stop loss.
That they need to take the loss now.
Oh, they need to take the loss now and not later.
And not
I know.
later.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's happening to people. When I see 500 acres of prime forest real estate up on the block for $70,000 just to equity in this house.
Wait. 70?
70.
Not 700.
Not 700. 70.
You
70.
gotta be fucking with me.
Exactly. You, the matriarch, will show it to you. That's
that property that she's made that collage.
not that specific.
Oh,
property.
I was about to say
another property,
another one.
But
okay,
still, 500 acres for $70,000. Somebody is dramatically trying to cut their loss.
Oh yeah,
and it's going to escalate.
Yeah,
in the next 12 months.
you said, we hypothetically. Well, I don't recommend we do it unless we just needed to get out of Dodge.
You just bought it and just allowed 100 acres of it to be forested, and
just forested.
Just the price of lumber right now alone.
Yeah, you'd probably pay the loan.
It would pay the loan.
Yeah. No,
that's what's happening right now.
Oh, I get that. What I'm telling you is, hypothetically, if we could, like, if we needed to get out of Dodge and move to that one specific property you're talking about, not the one in the collage, unfortunately, but is it just the land, no houses or anything?
There's one that looks like it was being developed. There's a couple of structures on it.
A couple of skeletons.
Somebody trying to develop the land.
They're cutting their losses.
They're cutting their losses.
Oh, I see.
And that's going to escalate in the next 12 months.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, we could theoretically get out of Dodge. I get the loan. We buy the property, sell off the loan.
I told her to go talk to her. I told her to go talk to her dad.
Maybe.
$70,000. $70,000 for 500 acres. That's nothing.
It's nothing. Hey, we'll workshop this. But how much time do we have? Okay.
If you're done.
No, I'm not done. No, I'm not done. I've reached the point where I'm not done. I've reached a point where I don't think I can run out of stuff. I mean, that's not always going to be.
Oh
but
yeah, no, but I don't want to crack open a long conversation.
No, honestly and truly, what I want to end on is this. I'm thankful for becoming a personal trainer because I have things that I can teach to my children and my family.
Right.
You know, the diet, how to work out, ways to work out. Now, I don't know how to take someone from ground zero to, like, competition muscle posing.
That's very specific.
But that's very specific, and that's not my bag anyway. I don't want to look like that.
That's a small net.
That's a very small net. Lucrative, but that's small. Yeah. And because of the economy, we're probably not going to see an awful lot of it.
And most people who do that are former contest participants.
Exactly.
So
anyway,
that's
a very small net.
That's a minority.
Oh yeah. So honestly and truly, I am very, very grateful for the knowledge I have, for the teaching that my boss has given me. But I think it's time for me to go, or not right this second, but soon.
You can see it on the horizon.
I can't not see it on the horizon. That's the problem. And even she's getting nervous that place is going to shut down. Like I said, I'm telling her, like, I cannot get anyone. And I have to, and sooner or later, she's going to have to reconcile with that. Yeah. No one wants to train with the hot chick. There's a problem. And I know the first thing she's going to say is the problem is me. But I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm talking to people, offering the card. They take the card. Sometimes they give me their name and number. I call them. They say, no thanks. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. So sooner or later, I think my time there is eventually going to end.
Yeah.
And I definitely know, unless she gets a swath of people in there that are like super salesmen as well as trainers, she's gonna lose that spot. And you know what? Maybe she has to. And the reason I'm thinking about this is because my dance studio
is also
getting kicked out of their building. Or they're getting kicked out of their building, because here's what happened. From what the teacher spoke about, somebody came in from out of town with some cash, bought the place out, and they were going to renovate it, like everything bottom to the top, brand new everything. Which that place needs it needs a renovation. I will not lie, sure. Like it needs it. The only nice spot in that building is in that dance studio. But here's the thing.
Right.
She has to downsize.
Right.
But that's not a problem because this is the time to downsize.
It is.
She's looking at it from the perspective of she's been there for like 5-6 years, same length of time as my boss, coincidentally enough.
Yeah.
She says, the teacher said to the class, I've been thinking, I've been here for 5-6 years. Is there anything else I'm meant to go and do? Is there any big changes coming my way? Studio's getting closed down because the owners are, new owners, same business, new owners, that type of deal. Kicking everybody out, right. Renovating, changing the rent. And she, instead of going, why me, why now, she's going, this is an opportunity for something better. But she's having to downsize. Right. But that's not a bad thing because this is the economy to downsize.
Yeah, you're not being punished.
No, she's not. And she's not looking at it like that. And neither am I.
Right.
I'm like, you're not being punished. This is exactly what has to happen. times are bad right now. You having to move to a smaller space with smaller rent and have a smaller set of classes, that's not a negative.
No,
because that's what you need to do right now.
That's what's happening right
and
now.
I like to think that, now again, I could be talking out of my ass. That's what my boss needs to do. She needs to move on from that spot. She's been there long enough. She may have to train people out of her house. She's done it before, but that might be what she needs to do now.
Right.
Because, like I said, 14 hours for 4 days a week. Half days, so 7 days on Friday, or 7 hours on a Friday.
Right.
Nothing on the weekend. Can you imagine
And
what
she
kind of
spends
hell that is?
It has to be, because she spends the entire weekend thinking about the other.
She can't even enjoy.
She can't even.
Yeah, she can't even enjoy her time off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not. That's not.
That's what keeps me out of management in nursing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you understand that.
I want to show up, do my job, and go home. I'm not caring.
Yeah.
I'm not caring.
No, you are not. No, you're not. But you understand that.
I do.
So that might be part of that might be another reason why I'm also been at this specific point.
What's coming with her, you can see.
I can.
Just don't take it personal.
No, I don't.
And do your best to separate on good terms.
I know.
Terms.
I'm going to.
You don't want to,
because she's already threatened to kill me.
You don't want to burn that bridge.
No.
And if you don't burn the bridge, then there's always an opportunity in the future.
Sure. Oh, she knows I'm a good trainer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you are getting a courtside view of how a luxury driven business dynamic, what it looks like.
Yes.
And you have to be very dedicated to it.
Yeah. I respect it.
It has to be your life.
But it is not my life.
But it is not your life.
No, I've told my clients, being a personal trainer is what I do, but it is not who I am.
Right.
But that's also why I teach with kindness and not this 1980s, 90s, let's go, 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 go.
Right.
Because some people don't need that.
No.
Some people do need it. And I give it to them as best as I can.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like, do your best, work until failure. That is totally an option. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
Push past failure, 1 or 2 reps, because those are the ones that count the most, so on and so forth.
Right.
So, I don't know when I'm going to be getting out. Probably won't be anytime soon. But for lack of a better expression, I can see the writing on the wall. I'm not even necessarily trained to see the writing on the wall, necessarily. Covertly.
Yes, covert.
But it is as clear as day.
Yes.
I know if I stay there for more than this next 6 months is what's going to determine it.
Yes, next 6 months.
Because I have only 2 options. I can either leave on good terms, like you said, or something's going to happen where I say, you know what, like she's going to do something or something happens and her reaction to it is going to make me go, okay. And I just grab my shit and I say, all right, you know what? As the Canadians say, peace out.
Peace out.
There's only 2 ways this can end. Peacefully or peace out.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for one of those things to show up. So that's where I'll personally end it. All right, I want food.
Yeah, I got something to cook.
All right, did we run out of time on that thing?
No.
Okay, sweet.
Close, 2 minutes.
Oh shit. Okay.
We've been getting some long ones lately. I might have to expand that. But anyway.
I want to keep the quality. I just want the memory to be bigger. You know what I mean? And maybe we should get a bigger one.
No. I can.
You can Jimmy rig something?
Yeah.
Okay. Or Jerry rig something?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Like I said, I don't want to lose the quality, but I don't want to get worried as soon as we hit 2 minutes.
No.
Or, 2 hours.
Better hurry up.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Smartass. Bye.
Bye.